5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is for Ms. White. The American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials and the States for Passenger Rail Coalition recently sent a joint letter to our appropriations colleagues in support of the President's recommendation to set aside funds from the crisis program for state rail planning efforts, since there is no dedicated federal funding source for rail planning. Ms. White, do you support this effort?
Thank you for the question. Yes, we are members of AASHTO, and we do support the position.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to add that letter.
Without objection.
Ms. White, what is North Carolina doing to reduce grade crossing incidents between cars and pedestrians with passenger and freight trains?
Our rail division has responsibility for safety as part of our portfolio, so we have a number of programs aimed at reducing vehicle and train and pedestrian conflicts. Our S-Line corridor that we're developing from Raleigh north is actually going to be a sealed corridor. It's a concept that we pioneered some years ago, where the entire corridor will be grade separated. And so that is one example of what we're doing. We have an active program to close grade crossings throughout the state, and we help fund those programs as well. We have a Be Rail Safe program where we do education to try and encourage people not to trespass and be where the tracks are. So we have a very active safety portfolio in our rail division.
Okay, thank you. This is for Mr. Gardner. Mr. Gardner, what can you tell me about when Amtrak will be able to serve the Miami Intermodal Center at Miami Airport?
Thank you, Congresswoman. The Miami International Airport, Intermodal Center at the airport has been a project long underway, and it involves us transitioning from our Hialeah facility to that facility. We're in active conversations with FDOT and also the Miami-Dade Airport Authority and Tri-Rail, who are responsible for both the infrastructure and the station. We've been in negotiations for a while to try and establish the right terms of access. Amtrak has access as a matter of statute to the facility. So we're in negotiations presently with FDOT to try and come up with a deal that works for all parties here and allows Amtrak to move over so we can terminate our trains at that facility. It's important that we have an efficient facility there that can continue to serve passengers well. We think the connections intermodally are great, but we remain in negotiations with FDOT so we can get the right deal for Amtrak in terms of its tenancy.
Thank you. Ms. White, North Carolina received one of the federal state partnership for intercity rail national grants for the Raleigh-Richmond Center. Why did you choose this corridor to submit to the program?
Congresswoman, I want to be sure I understood the question. Did you say the submission for the federal state partnership grant or for the corridor ID program? Federal state partnership grant. When the competitive grant opportunities open up, we analyze them as compared to the projects that we have in our pipeline to determine which we think will be the most competitive and which we have a match for. For the S-Line, we use grade separations in our state transportation improvement program as match to the federal funds. So we had a number of those grade separations already programmed in our state transportation improvement program. Additionally, we felt with the benefit cost analysis that it would be a highly competitive project. We're doing it in partnership with the state of Virginia and with Amtrak, and we know that advancing projects in the Southeast Corridor is important to the Federal Rail Administration, so we felt it would be a highly competitive project. Additionally, we have an incredible amount of groundswell of support from the communities along the S-Line. When we first started thinking about bringing passenger rail back to the S-Line, we went and met with each community along the line and asked them if that was something that would interest them. It runs through the main street of many towns in the Triangle area, and each of them had said that that was a goal for their community to bring passenger rail back. So that is part of our process in determining that that was our best project to put forward.
Thank you. I yield back.
Lady yields. I now recognize the ranking member of the full committee, Mr. Larson, for 5 minutes.